Hey everyone, alright. So, I said I was going to do this review. I know I'm several days late. Oh, shit. You'd be surprised how much shit there's to do as a team manager. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to take a look at the League of Explorers, which comes out literally later today. Alright, so we're going to go through all the class cards, all the neutrals, legendaries, all that other fun shit. So we'll get started with the Jungle Moonkin. Yes, thank you to the wonderful people at Hearthstone for saving me about 2 hours of prep work here. Alright. 4 mana for a 4/4. It's a beast. Both players have +2 spell damage. Two little points I'd like to point out here. Web Spinner can produce this, and so can Piloted Sky Golem. Alright. Now, the reason why I bring up the Web Spinner aspect is because Hunters, if Hunters actually get this in play, wow, they could do some miraculous shit. They can hold on to this till turn, what, 10? Then they could play this, plus 2 kill commands, and do, let's see, that's 5, plus 2 more, 7. So, yeah, you know, 14 damage, little burst combo at turn 10 for them. Not like they weren't already pretty disgusting as is, but, you know, it's kind of cool. I definitely like it. Now, going back to Druid, since this is a Druid card, hi, swipe now is a 6/3. Get wrecked, patron. So definitely, I like this card. It has some really cool value. I really do like it. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with it. Alright, next up is the Mounted Raptor. Since this is also a beast, we'll just do the standard, you know, Web Spinner disclaimer here. Yes, you can get it off Web Spinner. I like the animated art on it with the little fire things, you know, just kind of falling here. It's really nice. Alright, Mounted Raptor is a 3/2 for 3 mana. It's a more expensive version of Bloodfen Raptor, right? Wrong. No, it's basically a mini piloted Shredder. Death Rattle, summon a random 1-cost minion. Okay, yes, so definitely I can foresee possible like sticky minion decks with Harvest Golems, this, and so on and so on and so on, becoming a popular trend, especially in Druid. I mean, they were already pretty decent at board control as is, as well as setting up a board state, and then, you know, they could just double roar and just win that way. But now you're giving them more options in the 3 categories that are actually going to benefit off of beast synergies as well, so we might see some interesting combinations there. But all in all, I really like this card. I really do. Alright, and to the spell that the Druids get, we get Raven Idol. Raven Idol, 1 mana. Choose one. Discover a minion or discover a spell. Alright, we all know how the discover mechanic works. This is actually really kind of cool. I really do like it. Though I have a feeling that most of the time, they're going to go for the discover a spell just to possibly pull another swipe. Just to possibly pull another answer, you know? So, that could be really cool. Though playing a Raven Idol and getting an Innervate would be really fucking hilarious. Spend 1 mana to get 2. You know? That could be funny. Not. But, I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know how much play it's going to get, but it could be cool. Definitely could be cool. Oh, and because it is 1 mana, let us not forget of the fact that it does interact well with Gazlo and Violet Teacher. Alright, Explorer's Hat. Yes, everybody gets an Explorer's Hat. And it's absolute fucking trash. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can say that's positive about this card whatsoever. I don't really care for it. 2 mana for a +1/+1 buff. But it gets a Death Rattle that basically puts the thing back in here. And it doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, Hunters generally only have 1 enhancement buff card. It's only, you know, temporary at that. And it's not overly that good. And this one, obviously, not that good either. So I don't really care for it. Alright, next up we got is a beast, the Desert Camel, 3 mana for a 2/4. Again, beast, Battlecry, put a 1-cost minion from each deck into your battlefield. I actually do like this card. It has a good risk-reward mechanic to it. It's a solid body, and also if you look at the curving on it, you can turn this into a 4/6 taunt very easily. Okay? Basically play this on curve, next turn play Houndmaster, bam, 4/6 taunt. Fun times. Now Now, where this really gets kind of cool is in any matchup against a control deck, because control decks, generally, their curve starts at 2. Very few, with the exception of Priest, have any 1-drops that are, you know, of any substance. So, yeah, playing this down, basically you get a free 1-drop, and your opponent gets nothing in the control matchups. However, in the aggro matchups, this could backfire very easily. And let's not kid ourselves, aggro is still relevant. But I do think we will see this used quite a bit in mid-range. Definitely so. Alright, Dart Trap. I almost said Death Trap for some odd reason. Please forgive me. Dart Trap is the secret for the Hunters. When an opposing hero power is used, deal 5 damage to a random enemy. Random enemy. I really want to point this out, guys. Alright, so that means it could either be a minion or it could be his face. So, yeah. To me, like, the biggest threat this card creates, which, yay, your graphic glitch there, Hearthstone, is against warriors, you know. Haha, I'm gonna armor up so I could do a shield slam. Oh, shit, Death Trap just fucked that plan. So, yeah, I like it. I think it's interesting. Will it see a lot of use? Probably not. Probably the biggest use we'll see off it is somebody pulled it off of Lock and Load. But who knows? I might be wrong. Alright, moving on to the Mage. We get 2 minions and 1 spell here. We've got Animated Armor, 4/4 for 4. Pretty standard stat line, in honesty. Your hero can only take 1 damage at a time. Yeah. It's exactly what it sounds like, guys. I mean, it's kind of funny in its own little way. It's exactly what mages kind of needed. But where is it going to fit it in the longer, or fit in the greater scheme of things? Maybe in a freeze mage deck, but at the same time, freeze mage decks are very much refined to the point where trying to mix match things like this probably won't work nearly as well. So I would say more of a mid-range deck just to buy itself some time. Because traditionally, what you would use for that is going to be the antique heal bot. But at a 3/3, it's really not that much of an imposing body. But 4/4 definitely is an imposing body and something that people will have to actually pay attention to and deal with. So I kind of like it for that. Other than that, wait and see. Alright, Ethereal Conqueror. This is a 5-mana 6/3 Battlecry Discover spell. Okay, so last set in TGT, we got the Spell Slinger, which was a 3/4 that gave both players a spell. This one only gives you a spell. And you get a shitty body to go with it. Yes, it's 6/3. Yes, it is kind of impactful, but it's really easy to deal with, alright? So fucking easy to deal with. So its impact on the board is not overly good. Arena value, though, this is really good, alright? Don't mind my cat. She's a crackhead. Anywho, moving on. But in constructed value, I really don't like this. I could see it in tempo. It's another serious board threat. And if you can use this to draw out, like, some damage rather than it going elsewhere, then that could definitely be really good. But other than that, no, I don't really see overly too much value in it. Forgotten Torch, arguably the best card of the mages, and probably of the set. This is what I like to call a combination card. We saw this in Magic the Gathering quite often, but this one is like the Hearthstone flavor of it. Alright, so Forgotten Torch, deal 3 damage. Shuffle a Roaring Torch into your deck that deals 6 damage. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 3 damage Frostbolt without the freeze effect. That also gives you an extra fucking Fireball, which, by the way, only costs 3 mana. Yeah. So yeah, Pure Burn Mage, hello. It is possible. We might see it. We'll probably see this pop up in a tournament here or there, and those are coming up here real soon, ladies and gentlemen. So that would be the big test of it. But yeah, Pure Burn Mage might become a reality because of this card. We will have to see. Alright, moving on to Paladins. We've got probably the most bloated, shittiest spell I have ever fucking seen, but the animation is fucking amazing. Any fin can happen, 10 mana, summon 7 Murlocs that died this game. Okay, so obviously Paladins have the Murloc Knight and it summons blah blah blah. So if you get like a summon with the Murloc Knight, that's automatically 2 right there. Boom, you get your second one out, boom, that's another 2. But then, are you really going to pay 10 mana just to bring all those back? Okay, so let's say you make a pure Murloc Paladin deck, which I've done before, and I'll tell you right now, it breaks about even. Are you really going to pay 10 mana to bring all that shit back? You might actually want to, considering how easily they are to kill on curve. But the problem I have here is if you're playing a Murloc deck and you're at turn 10, you've pretty much already lost, sir. I hate to tell you that. You pretty much have already lost. So I kind of feel like this spell is absolutely useless, but it's kind of cool to look at. I feel it's like one of those spells they put in there just to fuck with certain RNG spell gaining abilities. Who knows? Maybe there'll be a brawl that'll really get value out of it. All right. Next up is the Keeper of Oldemon. All right. It's a 4-mana 3/4. Battlecry, set a minion's attack and health to 3. Shiv, is an Outdoor Peacekeeper better? Yes, Outdoor Peacekeeper is much better because it sets the attack down to 1. Thus, you know, a greater mitigation here. But like Paladins have been known to do, it debuffs multiple different things, alright? Paladins are one of the only classes that can debuff minions and lower certain values. They can lower the health, or they can lower the attack. Now, this is basically both of those abilities combined in one, and, well, because it's generalized, you're not getting as great of an effect. The idea here is more of a balanced approach versus a more all-or-nothing approach. However, all-or-nothing tends to reap bigger rewards. So, it is good, but it's not great. It's definitely something you would take in Arena, because we all know everybody in Arena always takes, you know, whatever 7, 8 attack minion they can get. So having this and bringing it down to size is kind of a cool thing. Alright, and the Paladins also got another secret. Yes, because, you know, fuck Mysterious Challenger. Alright, Sacred Trial. When your opponent has at least 3 minions and plays another, destroy it. So, okay, it's literally a Vaporize that has a different triggering effect. Think like Vaporize and... I don't even know. I guess, you know, Mind Control Tech trigger put together. And that's what you get here. So, the obvious play on this is after, say, an Implosion. And after whatever. You get this down, bam, you know, you can get some value. It's kind of like an anti-aggro tech to kind of help prevent them from building up the board. If you play this turn 1 and you're kind of struggling to, like, you know, beat down the board and all that, by the time they get to where it's going to be relevant, you're going to kill a very large minion. In theory. So there's some value to it. In the Paladin mirror match, however, this gets a lot of value post muster for battle. You can kill that 4th minion like that. And if you follow the curve, that 4th minion most of the time is going to be a piloted Shredder, which means the Shredder is reduced down to whatever that 2-drop it's going to produce is. Not a great amount, but is definitely a huge mana or tempo and mana loss for the Paladin. Alright, moving on to Priest. Priest actually got some really fucked up stuff. A lot of stuff I can't wait to get my hands on. And the first one of them is Excavated Evil. 5 mana, deal 3 damage to all minions. Shuffle this card into your opponent's deck. Never ending AoE. Oh. Okay, so why is this card here? This actually feels like a card that should have been put out in TGT in response to the patron decks. But instead they nerfed something. But this would have been a really great answer to it. Now, as we've seen, Patron did not die. It just mutated. It's less about the Zerg and more about the board control. Well, this would definitely help remove that as a win condition for them. And the fact that it goes to your opponent's deck, also kind of, you know, risk-reward sort of thing. So I really like that. But the question is, do you run this over Holy Nova? I think you'd have to run at least one, possibly. Maybe. But then again, Light Bomb also has a very similar function, you know, so... And it can kill much bigger minions, so... I don't know. Trial, error, wait and see kind of deal. If this game had sideboards, this would definitely be one of my sideboard choices. Alright, Entome! 6 mana for basically the ultimate troll card. Choose an enemy minion, shuffle it into your deck. Oh, you played Ysera. Well, I hope you enjoyed the one card you got off it, because that bitch is coming down as mine. And the animation is actually pretty fucking legit. This is probably one of the most complex animations I have seen to date. Look at this. Alright, you got both, you know, shine, and collapse. That's probably the most in-depth animation they've done yet. And the one minion they get is probably the most interesting minions they get is the Museum Curator. Battlecry, discover a Death Rattle card. Okay. Now we saw how that discover mechanic worked, and in the example they showed us, it was literally 2 class cards and 1 neutral option. Now, well, hate to break this to you, but priests don't have many Death Rattle minions. They've got 1 that comes to mind off the top of my head, and by the way, it's also 3 mana. Can you see why I love this card? And that would be the Dark Cultist. So, yeah, this is pretty much Cultist on demand. Who doesn't like that? I would seriously, when I'm doing mulligan, I mulligan hard for this guy. I throw back Dark Cultist because I don't really fucking need it. You know, because I'm just going to get 1 most of the time because of this. But because there's also neutral options, there's other Death Rattle minions you could get. And, you know, when you look at the 3-drop Death Rattles, there's a couple options there. But doesn't mean you have to take that. That's the great thing about Discover. Or, I mean, yeah, about the Discover mechanic. Alright, moving on to Rogue. You know, a class that's traditionally always getting shit on. Did they get shit on this time? Yep. Tomb Pillager, Death Rattle, add a coin to your hand. Why not? Yeah, no. Okay, we all know this is bad. I don't even need to go into reasons why it's bad. Fucking blind man can see that card's bad. Okay, Unearth Raptor. Battlecry, choose a friendly minion, gain a copy of its Death Rattle effect. Okay, so I can see this used in kind of combo deck. I can see it definitely used in aggro decks. Holy shit, can I see this used in aggro decks. Like, if you could get out a Leper Gnome and this at the same time, which, by the way, is only 4 mana, you get some serious fucking value. Get a 3/4 that also has Leper Gnome ability, get fucking wrecked. So, yeah, I like this card. Definitely, yeah, this definitely, I would see more in a tempo deck, to be perfectly honest with you. But it is possible. And if you are having it in a tempo deck, then most likely what you'll get is when it dies, it turns into a Harvest Golem. The 2/1 version of the Harvest Golem. Alright. So the Pit Snake. Alright, again, web spinner disclaimer here. It's basically the Emperor Cobra with a shitty fucking life total, which means anything can kill it. Anything. This is one of those cards that basically they put in just to fuck with other people and with the web spinner. All in all, it's not a great card. And the reason why I say that is a Druid will definitely tank 1 damage to prevent you from killing any of his big shit with this. Same with fucking a Mage. Same with other rogues. They won't let you get any value on this. Where this does get value is outside those matches, but then, you know, there's other ways of dealing. It's literally 1 damage, so Knife Juggler basically can totally tear this fucker up just by doing what it normally does. So the value you get off this card, not overly great. But it is a card you definitely would play down against Priest turn 1. Bam! Go ahead. Play your fucking Northshire Cleric. I dare you. Alright, moving on to Shaman. One of the only other classes that has been officially approved by Blizzard to handle Murlocs. Fucking bastards. Every fin is awesome. Now, I'm going to say this before I get into my view on this card. I really hope the flavor text in this is basically lines from Everything is Awesome from the Lego movie, because that would just be fucking amazing and would be so pop culture. Alright, give your minions +2 attack. Permanent. Not till the end of turn. Permanent. Cost 1 less for each Murloc you control. Okay, so in some ways it's better than a Bloodlust. In some ways it's worse than a Bloodlust. Would I play it? You're goddamn right I'd play this. I would definitely play around with this. I see this being used in aggro quite nicely. Where I also see it being used is in decks that use a lot of these token spawning creatures. You know, your Echoing Ooze, your 2-for-1 stuff, which obviously the Murlocs play heavily in. You could actually play those that 2 mana Murloc that splits off into 2, and then all of a sudden you're talking about getting a 4/3 and a 3/3 out of that. Mind you, that's also a 9 mana expenditure, so it is kind of cool. Actually, no, my bad. That's 5 mana. Wait. No, it's still 7 mana. But that's not overly great, but not overly bad either. And it's a permanent buff. But it can be silenced. Alright. Rumbling Elemental is a 4 mana 2/6. And, after you play a Battlecry minion, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. Okay, so basically this is Flame Waker's Battlecry cousin. A little bit difficult to get rid of, but I really want you to think about how many battle cries there really are that are going to be overly effective. You're not just going to throw in battle cry minions into this deck in order to give value for this. That's like a horrible way of playing it. But you might actually be considering using Ironbeak Owls over Earthshocks. Alright, Abusive Sergeants would definitely also be in here as well, just to kind of, you know, pad that up there. There are quite a few really good Battlecry minions. Dark Iron Dwarf gets some value here. Even, oh, what is it? Shattered Sun Cleric gets value because of this card. So we might see like a zoo-type style deck returning because of this card, anchoring it in. But without that charging, powerful burst of like the Doomguard in a Shaman deck, it's really sketchy. Really sketchy. But I do like the card. It is rather interesting. And the third and final card for the Shamans is the Tunnel Trog. Oh my god. 1 mana for a 1/3. Whenever you overload, gain +1 attack per locked mana crystals. So, turn 1, boom, I play Tunnel Trog. Your turn 1, you use your coin, you play 2 Leper Gnomes. My response is I play Forked Lightning. I kill your stuff, I take 4 damage, but I now have a 3/3 on the board that just hits you in your face. Which I could then follow up with a Lightning Bolt and hit you for another 7 on the following turn. Or, you know, mitigate whatever you have in there and turn him into a 4. You see where I'm getting at here. So it's another thing that's basically getting rewarded off using Overload, which to date, before this card, we only had really one thing. And it kind of fell out of favor pretty damn quickly. Alright, moving on to the Warlocks here. The big question is, do they get more stuff that helps them in the handlock? Do they get more stuff that helps them in Zoo? Well, let's find out. Alright, Reliquary Seeker. 1/1/1. Alright, Battlecry. If you have 6 other minions, gain +1. Or, I mean, gain +4/+4. Okay, so basically have damn near a full board and then play this. Yeah, that's a really difficult trigger to make this overly viable, but let's not forget Implosion, things of that nature. So it is vaguely possible to get this up there. So I could possibly see this running in a Zoo-style deck for people who don't have, say, a Sea Giant. But other than that, no, not really. No, not overly good. It's literally a 1-drop you can't play on turn 1, which kind of sucks. Alright, Curse of Reform! Or however you pronounce that. 2 mana, give your opponent a curse card. While they hold it, they take 2 damage. This is a really fun little nifty thing. Personally, I like this card for a turn 7 play with Loatheb. Or if you really want to be creative, use Coin and do that too. Because what this effectively does is it locks them out of the ability of being able to get rid of it. So, but even if you're not using it then, it's still forcing your opponents to spend this mana to remove this threat out of there, thus lessening what they can actually put forth on the board that turn. And it's kind of a cool thing. It's like forcing your opponent to use their hero power to remove one of your minions, and thus weakening what he could bring out on his turn. So I do like that. It is definitely something that fits Warlocks very thematically, and I think we'll see some interesting plays with this. Maybe not good plays, but definitely some interesting plays. Alright. Dark Peddler. Yes, because every fucking lord needs a drug dealer. True fact. Alright, Dark Peddler is a 2 for 2. Okay, so it's definitely going to fit easily in, say, maybe a Zoolock type deck. But let's see. Battlecry, discover a 1-cost card. You're goddamn right this is going to fit into a Zoolock deck. Holy shit. We might actually see the return of an aggressive Zoo deck. And by that, I mean Arcane Golems, Leroy Jenkins coming back into the mix. We might even see DIDs and Shattered Suns coming back into the mix. Who knows? It could definitely possibly happen. But this is definitely really screams very aggro. And yeah, I'll definitely say that this card's going to get some usage. Holy shit, we'll get usage. Now we're on to Warrior. Warrior gets a weapon and 2 minions. So the Warriors are always getting weapons, god damn it. Alright, so the Cursed Blade. 1 mana for a 2/3. Holy shit, 1 mana to do 6 damage? Holy shit. Oh, okay, it's gotta have a downside. Double all damage dealt to your hero. So, congratulations. This card could backfire dramatically. But you have to use this basically to go face every single time. And this is also one of those cards, you know, you gotta be really careful. If you have to use this to trade on a minion, oh, you are hating life. Using this on a Flaming, congratulations, you took 6 damage. GG, well played. So, yeah, this is pretty much screams, just go face, face, face. I mean, for a very aggressive deck, this might actually work. And by aggressive, what I mean is like Leper Gnomes, weapons, and charge minions, and obviously Mortal Strikes and things of that nature. This could actually work, alright? Because sometimes, you know, some of those weapons are a little too clunky to play on curve, and you really just want to keep setting the board and forcing them to trade into them. So having 1 extra mana to add 2 more damage consistently every single turn is actually a really cool thing here. But I definitely think that using this outside of an aggressive deck is a big mistake. Alright. Now the next 2 cards are minions, and they both fit a thematic theme that Blizzard's been hinting that they kind of want to see warriors moving to, and that is taunt based. Alright, so first up we've got the Obsidian Destroyer 777. It's your lucky day! At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 Scarab with taunt. Congratulations, they just made a common version of fucking Hogger. But Hogger is better in its own little ways. This you can kill with a big game hunter, Hogger you can't. True fact. So, yeah, Hogger's still better, but hey, this does fit with that theme, especially when you consider Bolster. If you can control your opponent with weapons and other minions and allow your taunts to build up, then Bolster could really turn them into something sick and disgusting. But, I don't know. It's going to be one of those decks where you'll have to wait and see. But this is definitely a pick you take in Arena every single time. Every time. Speaking of taunts, how about a Fierce Monkey? Why this wasn't a hunter card, I will never know. Okay, so 3 mana for a 3/4. This definitely screams kind of a control option, more taunt heavy option, maybe even fatigue. Alright. Yeah, I can see that. And it's a good body size. Again, Bolster really plays with this. I really like this card. 3/4 for 3 is a good fucking costed card. I mean, it's amazing costing, and it comes with taunt. Get fucking wrecked. This is definitely better than goddamn Spider Tank, hands down. Alright. Now we get to move on to the legendaries, which are all neutral as per usual. And the first one we come up to is Archthief Rafam. 9 mana for 7H. BGH killable. Battlecry, discover a powerful artifact. Now you're going to ask, well, Shiv, what are these powerful artifacts? Well, we just got to scroll down for that. There are 3 of them. They all cost 10 mana. 1, give a minion +10/+10. So in the case of Rafam, if he lives, congratulations, you can now smack for 17 damage. Other than that, no. Mirror of Doom. Arguably my personal favorite in here is fill your board with 3/3 mummy zombies. What I like about this is that's literally 21 damage on the board. But guess what? Priest got a new spell that deals 3 damage AoE, so GG, well played. And the last one is Timepiece of Horror. Deal 10 damage, randomly split among all enemies. Okay, so congratulations, you made a shittier version of Avenging Wrath, but slightly more powerful, but still shitty in mana cost. Alright. All in all, not the greatest of legendaries. However, the person next to him is a totally different scenario here. Reno Jackson. That just sounds like a porn star name, don't it? Or at least, you know, on a bad vigilante TV show type deal. Reno Jackson. Anyway, so 6 mana for a 4/6 Battlecry. If your deck contains no more than 1 of any card, fully heal your hero. So, obviously, Paladins get a real boost out of this, because they've long been playing decks that had very few 2-ups. Alright, but pretty much any deck can do this. Any deck can do it. Once you've, like, bled through and, you know, and you're counting your cards, which, by the way, deck trackers are really good for this, playing Reno Jackson could be the instant reset. It's, many ways, it's actually better than fucking Tree of Life. Okay, because Tree of Life resets your opponent and you. Well, now you get a 4/6 and can possibly do this, but that trigger is very, very, very specific, so, whoo, it's gonna be interesting. But I do honestly think, you know, Paladin is going to be, like, the primary users of this, just because they've proven time and time again that utility decks that run 1-offs are much more powerful for them than consistent decks that run 2-ups. So they generally run a lot more one-offs. So they would have less they'd have to burn through. So yeah. Alright, next up on the legendaries is Elise Star Seeker. Alright, 4 mana for 3/5, so you're talking Send Your Body, Battlecry. Shuffle the map to the Golden Monkey into your deck. What is the map to the Golden Monkey? Well, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Map to the Golden Monkey is basically a summon card. And it summons it, the Golden Monkey to your hand. And it only costs 2 mana to do that. Now, the Golden Monkey is literally a 6/6 taunt that costs 4 mana. Battlecry, replace your hand with and deck with legendary minions. Now, this seems like a really cool idea. It's like, oh, wow, I get to play with, you know, Ragnaroses and shit like that. Right. Yeah, it also means you give up your anti-kill bots, you give up your big kills, you give up a lot of things that could actually win you the game. However, the RNG fun factor of it is why the card exists. No other reason. So, yeah, it's definitely fun. People are going to have fun with it, but, we'll see. Alright, next up in the legendaries is Bronzebeard. Now, this card I actually see as being kind of functional. Your battle cries trigger twice. So, alright. You put this guy down, he persists. You can play 1 Abusive Sergeant and literally crank this guy up to a 6/4 for 1 mana. Silences, I'm pretty sure you could silence multiple minions, this and the other. Oh, there's actually some flavor text on some of these cards. Nice. But yeah, it's really, really interesting. I really like it. Definitely some fun, and I can't wait to see what people come up with it. Alright. Sir Finley Murgleton. Yes. We needed Murlocs. And we got a legendary Murloc. This makes 2 legendary Murlocs in the game. And this one's kind of meh. Battlecry, discover a new basic hero power. Wow, so we've got one that can change it outright, and then we've got one that enhances. So that's kind of interesting, I guess, you know. I would almost say that you could actually use this and Justicar Trueheart in the same deck. You play this down, see if you get like the warrior hero power and go, oh, right, yeah! And then you play this guy. Then you play Justicar down immediately behind it and go, GG, well played. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Apparently there's 14 dialects of Murgle. Did not know that. Now I just want to go back real quick and I want to look at the Everything is Awesome and see if they took the opportunity to do it. Yep, they did it. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of Murloc team. They did it. Oh, thank you, Blizzard. Thank you. There was another one I wanted to see the flavor text of. Alright, let's see what the Anything Can Happen was. Theme song by Ellie Goldfish and... Nice. Oh, and what was the other one? Anyways, moving on. That's actually pretty cool. Alright, so that's all the legendaries. Now we get down to pretty much everything else, which is quite a bit. So we're going to blow through this. Djinn of Zephyrs, or Djinn of Zephyrs, depending on how you pronounce it and whether or not you're from America. Alright, 5 mana for a 4/6. Whenever you cast the spell on another friendly minion, cast a copy of it on this one. Hi, Priest, congratulations. You're going to have a fucking field day with this card. Druids could also have a field day with this card too, if they, you know, actually start taking some of those spells, but, you know, we'll see. Definitely a cool thing. Naga Sea Witch. Alright, Naga Sea Witch, 5 mana for a 5/5. Not bad. Your cards cost 5. Whether it's more expensive than 5 or less expensive than 5, they all cost 5. There's actually a really cool scenario with this, where you could get Aviana out on turn 6, then run this in to die, have that extra mana, and summon out some more shit. Yeah, true fact. Will it actually happen? Too soon to say. But definitely everybody is picking Druid as the main abuser of that card. Alright, next up is the Summoning Stone. Fuck off. I was so tired of looking at these in WoW, but now I gotta look at them in Hearthstone, you motherfuckers. But it makes sense, I guess. Alright, 5 mana for a 0/6. Whenever you cast a spell, summon a random minion of the same cost. Yeah, basically, when you see this card come out, kill it instantly. Alright? Kill it instantly. I will say this, though. this is a card that I would see rogues abusing the shit out of. And the reason why I say that is they can stealth it, right? They can stealth this and then bring out, what is it? A sprint. Get a 7-cost minion on the board. Now, there are very few 7-cost minions, but there are enough of them to where it becomes a threat. And yeah, considering how many spells rogues actually have, yeah, they can get some real serious value out of this. So yeah, this could be problematic. They could definitely build a really nice board because of this, with, you know, RNG randomness, and just have at it. It almost feels like this card came to fruition because of one brawl, which is kind of what I figured like the brawl would do. They would test out certain mechanics in there inadvertently, and this definitely kind of plays to that. Alright, next one is actually a card that I'm really excited to see, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. The Eerie Statue. 4 mana for a 7/7, can't attack unless it's the only minion in the battlefield. Holy shit, this is one of those cards that could possibly replace certain things. What I like about this card is you could literally just put it down, clear the board with like all your minions to where this is the only thing left, and then he suddenly is able to attack, bam, 7 damage, right? So his threat is variable. Alright, so if you're playing this in a control deck, you get some huge value. Now, I will say this, that both Warrior and Druid can play some really funky shit with it. So can Warlock, alright? One of the things that I really see this being overly useful for is, and that could actually be applied to almost any deck, but most likely Druid and Warlock being the primary ones, is going to be Ancient Watchers, Eerie Shadows, and what is that? Ah, damn, 4-drop that silences your own board. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, you can see that, and all of a sudden, you got a really nasty board there that is basically going to knock the shit out of it. Or you can just turn this fucking thing into a taunt. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. You can turn it into a taunt. Now, it is killable by BGH, which is why I would actually see this possibly replacing the Twilight Drakes in Handlock. Just because you silence that just to get it down to 1 life. You silence this, you just created a 7/7 that's going to go straight to your face. So this could really change the dynamic for Handlock. Alright. Ancient Shade. 7 mana. Well, I mean 4 mana for a 7/4. Battle Cries. Shuffle an Ancient Curse into your deck that deals 7 damage to you when you draw it. So yeah, for 4 mana, you get a 7/4 that could probably easily be killed, and by the way, you're going to take 7 damage eventually sometime down the road. Risk reward. Alright, Fossilized Devilsaur. Yes, it looks like the damn thing from Night at the Museum. Almost identical. I would love to see just like a little bone on the ground here. That, yeah, but whatever. 8 mana for an 8/8 Battlecry. If you control a beast, gain taunt. So, yeah, hunters get a big-ass taunt if they want it. Druids are going to get a big-ass taunt if you want it. Oh, wait, they already had fucking 2 other big-ass taunts. Well, this would fit into it rather nicely. Will it be used by either? Probably not. Arena value, though, is pretty fucking decent. Alright. Wobbling Runts. 6 mana for a 2/6. That seems like a really weird costing for that. But Death Rattle, summon 3 2/2 runts. Yes, because token spawning is something that, you know, Blizzard really wants to mess around with. And this is kind of really annoying. Really annoying. So yeah, this guy is in many ways like the neutral version of Savannah Highmane. Alright. Anubasath. I know I totally fucked that up, but Anubasath Sentinel, 5 mana for a 4/4 Death Rattle. Give a friendly minion +3/+3. Holy shit, hell yeah. I like this card. I could see it being used on almost every single class rather nicely. Priest, Paladin, Hunter, fucking you name it, man. Maybe not so much Warrior, but definitely this has got some potential here. And a lot of people don't really see the value in it in Warlock, and I would just like to say you're probably absolutely correct because it competes with a lot of things that are already pretty much standardized there. But other classes, yeah, definitely. Most definitely. Even Hunter could get some value out of this goddamn bastard. Alright. Coming up, we've got a mech. Yes, we do. 4 mana for a 3/4, the Gorilla Bot A3. Battlecry, if you control another mech, discover a mech. Yes, because, you know, Gazlo sucks. True fact. This doesn't. So I like the fact that it's a conditional discover rather than an automatic discover. So you kind of have to build a board state with it. Class that I see using this the most is going to be fucking Mage, hands down. Maybe Shaman to some degree, Druid possibly. Warrior's also a very, very strong possibility. The Hunter not so much though. Alright. Now speaking of a card that most likely is going to end up in Hunters. Tomb Spider, 4 mana for a 3/4. Battlecry, discover a beast. Yeah, I mean, as you look at the deck statistics of what people are building, yeah, almost all of them are saying Hunter. 45% say Hunter. Yeah, true fact. This is very similar to some stuff that me and Nox created. So, I'm happy to see that. Alright. Jeweled Scarab. 2 mana for a 1/1. What the fuck? It's also a beast, I'd like to point out. Battlecry, discover a 3-cost card. Now, I really want you guys to think about how many really good 3-cost mana cards there are. There's quite a few. There really are. And because this is neutral, it could go to any class, whatever. Alright, so yeah. Could see some cool shit there, guys. We'll have to wait and see though. By the way, I will say the golden animation just looks fucking spectacular. Alright, and next one is also a beast. We've got the 2 mana Huge Toad. Okay, so it's a 3/2, and it's a beast. Direct comparison is the fucking Bloodfen Raptor, and it comes with an effect, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. This is power creep above the Bloodfen Raptor, but you know, Bloodfen Raptor, you know, whatever, nobody plays with it anyway. So yeah, this is a card I take in every single aggressive deck. I take this in a pure beast hunter deck. I take this in a lot of things, alright? Because I like it. Even druids I'd play this in. I would even play this in possibly a rogue too. You know? True fact. You can make some really aggressive decks with this. And the last of the cards is a Murloc. It is the Murloc Tiny Fin. It's a little itty bitty Murloc. It's so cute. Look at the eyes. Look at the eyes and the little heart. It's so cute. All right, snap out of it, Shiv. All right, so 0 mana for a 1/1. Congratulations, you now have Murloc Wisp. The fuck? But it's definitely a card I could see being played with Shaman because of what is it? Everything is awesome. True fact there, guys. This could enable that deck design very, very fucking nicely. The example I gave where I said you could knock this out on turn 5, well, have a couple of these in your hand as well. You just knock that down. Alright, so if you got a good board state, boom, 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 you can get some really cool shit going on there. And it is actually possible to play Everything is Awesome and Bloodlust on the same turn because of Murloc Tiny Fins and Emperor Thurzan and things of that nature. And if you can pull that shit off, fucking good on you, sir. So yeah, this is actually probably not as useless as people might have thought it was. So it really does have some interesting value. Alright, and then of course here are the little token cards, which, you know, blah blah blah. Alright, now let's just go over this. It's basically $20 as per usual for all the wings. It is 700 gold per wing, $7 USD per wing. You don't get anything extra by buying all the wings in a pre-purchase, as we've done previous. Too many people bitched about that, apparently. It's going to be laid out structure very similar as we've already come to expect. So, yeah, that is the League of Explorers review. I'd like to, again, thank the people at Hearthstone, specifically Mr. Flux Flasher, as you can see his name, since he did all these postings and got me all this stuff here. Mostly because I'm just too busy to actually go and grab all these and put them in and resize them all properly and center. Trust me, doing that takes a lot of time, guys. I'm not even gonna lie. And I've been so busy this week. Anyway, that is all for the review. All in all, I think this is going to be a rather interesting set. I see a few things that are going to change some existing archetypes that we have come to know, love, and perfect. And I see a couple things that are going to introduce and make viable other archetypes that Blizzard is kind of hinting at in previous sets, and now seems like we might actually have enough to pull it off now. Here's two examples of them right there. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be cool. I can't wait to see what it is, and I'm really glad that they gave Priest another thing to fuck with people, because, you know, Priest didn't have enough shit to fuck with people. I'm just kidding. I fucking love Priest. Anyway, until next time, if you like these videos, like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of these cards. Did I miss something? Is there something you see that I didn't see? Is there an idea that you think is actually really cool? Or do you think I'm just full of shit? Which, you know, I'm not gonna lie. You might be actually right on that. But, till then, stay safe. Have fun. May RNGesus bless you. And I will be streaming the playthroughs and the heroic clears of the League of Explorers. That was really wonky, but fuck it. Do it for the lulz. Peace!